I gained 10.2 pounds in 40 days as a hard gainer. If you're new here, hi, I'm Nirav and I've been working out for the last 17 years wherein I've seen multiple amount and been through myself through multiple weight transformations. In this video, I'm going to show you how I did it. It is extremely important for you to know your body because it's very crucial for you to create that mind-body connection. I didn't realize this over my first few years when I wasn't seeing the gains, but when I realized this aspect, the amount of gains that I could achieve were tremendous. So, three different types of bodies that we belong to consist of ectomorph, which is where I was previously. This is the one which is often underweight and it is extremely difficult to gain weight, but it is very easy to lose weight. The second one is an endomorph who can gain weight quickly. However, it is very difficult for them to lose weight. And the third one is a mesomorph, which is the athletic body, which is where I belong right now. I transitioned into this body about 8 years ago. Once you've understood where you belong across these three categories, you need to set a goal and a timeline as to when do you want to achieve it. Doing so will keep you motivated on the path towards your weight transformation. You also need to be realistic in terms of how much weight you can gain and how you can gain that. It'll either be 1 or 2 pounds. Also, trying to gain that much amount of weight is very unhealthy for you. So you need to give it a sufficient amount of time and be patient while you see all of these progresses. And how much do you need to eat or what do you need to do? I'll explain this a little bit later in the video. But once you've made a decision to embark on this weight transformation journey of yours, you need to put this in a structure in order to keep you motivated. And the structure would be building a table. You can use Excel, you could use notes on your mobile phone, or you could write it in a notebook, wherein you need to first put the date followed by your different body parts, your weight, and your body fat percentage. Then what you'll do going forward is every week have that one day and a set amount of time when you'll measure this. For me, this is Saturday morning, right when I wake up. One crucial thing to mention here is that you can transition from an ectomorph to a mesomorph. However, you need to know the ectomorph never leaves you, which means even though I am within the mesomorph category now, I have to ensure that I continue maintaining this weight, because the moment I slip, I'll start losing all of this weight really quickly. Whenever I've had to embark on any of my weight transformation journeys, what I have always done is firstly, I started with a goal as to how much weight do I need to gain every week. And then accordingly, I have set the timeline with an end goal in state. For instance, if I want to gain 10 pounds, then I would have it in such a way that I gain 1 pound every week and I'll split it over 10 weeks. Now, although because I am more experienced and I've been doing it for a long time, I do certain things on the fly, except checking and maintaining my stats. I don't really have other notes wherein I also maintain aspects of how much I'm lifting across all of my lifts. I usually do it in my head right now, but if you feel like it, you could also maintain another chart with all of your exercises, such as all of your chest exercises, your legs, depending on how much weight you're lifting, which can give you a progression tracker as to where you started and where you ended on this journey. How many times have you asked a trainer or a bodybuilder as to how they did it and how do you need to gain weight, and they gave you the same answer? You need to eat more. So the best ways to do this is firstly by lifting weights, which amounts to about 30% of all of the efforts that you put in, and the 70% is dependent on the diet. But one thing everybody needs to understand is this is a stomach and not a storeroom. You can't just store food in there. So you can't accidentally or suddenly increase the amount of intake that you have. There are tons of calorie calculators available online, which when you put your stats in will actually tell you what amount of calories do you need to consume based on your weight, height, and age aspects in order for you to gain weight, and also depending on what your level of activity is. One thing that is very crucial in this stage is that you need to constantly continue increasing the intensity of your workouts. So you can't be pushing the same weight every single week. The next week you have to upgrade your weight, even if it means increasing it by 2.5 to 5 pounds. When it comes to food, there are really two different ways of bulking. However, I have brought in a third different aspect which I constantly use. First one is dirty bulking, wherein you eat the dirtiest of the food available on the planet, which means pizzas, chocolates, ice creams, you name it. The second one is clean eating, which involves eating a lot of cleaner sources of food. These are typically whole foods or all of the natural foods. So you'd be eating fish, chicken, eggs for your proteins. For your carbohydrates, you're looking more into eating beans and your rice, white or brown, doesn't matter, it's the same thing. And for your fats will be more about eating avocados and cheese and yogurt. The third approach that I followed in this case is going hybrid. So while I do eat clean food, but at the same point of time, for 1 to 2 days during the week, I go crazy on the dirty food aspect, which means I could either eat cookies, a pizza, a sandwich. There are always notable side effects of all of these three different types of eating. The first one is dirty bulking, which will give you results really quickly. However, it will give you a lot of fat. So there is a possibility that you will have a big pot belly, which you'll have to get rid of eventually, which is a very difficult task. With clean eating, you're pushing yourself towards eating a lot of clean and whole foods, which means you'll be eating a lot of boring food over a substantial period of time. But it comes with an advantage that it won't give you as big of a pot belly, and it's easily manageable. While the body that you gain will be stronger and will be built through all of the natural and clean eating habits that you've developed. When it comes to hybrid eating, which is exactly what I did, you need to be careful and constantly monitor. If by doing this approach, it starts giving you a bigger belly, then it makes more sense for you to transition into clean eating, which is what I constantly monitored, and hence I track all of my progress every week so that I understand whether the efforts that I put in last week or what I ate, how has that impacted my body, and whether I should change this. When you see a result is dependent on who you are as a person, how disciplined are you, what is your lifestyle like, what have you been eating, are you going clean, are you going dirty? There's several factors that are involved, including your body type as well. So as I mentioned, with the different types of ways that you're eating, if you're eating dirty and you're really going hard at it, you might start seeing your progress right within week 1 with your weight gain transformation. However, with clean eating, you may not see it right at the start, wherein you might gain a lot less than expected to begin with, and eventually you'll build it up and you'll go further ahead. With me working out for 17 years, I already have that mind body connection. I have the muscle memory for me to build up muscle really quickly. So if you are in that type of a category wherein you have been working out previously, it should not be that big of a deal for you to gain weight quickly. But if you are a beginner and you're only starting out on this journey, it will take slightly longer. All I can tell you is just persist on it and just keep tracking, because the tracker will give you a lot more information, and from that you can deduce as to whether you did the right things, whether you ate the right things, whether you missed a workout, what did you do. All of the impacts will be visible when you do your tracking by the end of the week or whichever day you have decided to do it. This is how my progress chart looks, wherein you can see that the weight that I have gained across several weeks has fluctuated. It has never stayed constant. Some weeks I've gained a lot more, some weeks I've gained a lot less. So I started my journey on August 11th when my weight was 129 and my fat percentage was 14.5. A week later, on the 17th of August, I gained about 2.8 pounds, going up to 131.8. However, I also gained 0.9% fat along the way, and this fat was gained around my waist area, and I knew I had skipped the abs section during that time. The week after, on August 24th, I again ended up gaining almost 2 pounds with 1.8% increase, and I still was putting in more fat into my body, and this fat was evenly distributed everywhere except my chest, where I hadn't. And then following the first week of September, I forgot to take my stats at the same time when I do, and the reason being that is why I skipped and I moved immediately to the week after, on September 8th, when you can see that I gained about 2.2 pounds over 2 weeks. So which means I didn't quite gain that much amount of weight as expected as previously, but my fat percentage here had dropped, and I could easily see that around my waist is where I lost that amount of fat, while I gained a whole lot of muscle across my body. Moving into September 21 is when you see 139.2. So again, in the middle, I hadn't done my measurements for some reason because I forgot. So if I don't do it at that time, I usually don't record it because it won't be in the most accurate state that I want it. Well, in this case, you did see that I gained like almost 4 pounds there. However, some of it was through fat, which is a good thing. So which means whatever I was doing was good. I'm eating right, and the exercises and everything is working out for me. Like and subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you next time.